Hi everyone.
Hi everyone, in the previous video, we learned how to show a Flutter map with a different theme. In this video, we will show you how to put a user's marker to the exact location of the user. And let's start. So right now, as you can see, we don't have our previous button where the user requests their permission. So first, let's put it back onto the map. This is where we display Flutter map. One second. Okay. This is where we display our Flutter map. Instead of displaying it in a center, let's wrap it in a stack widget so that we can put a button above the map. An easy way to do this is use a column and then change it to stack. It's much quicker this way. Let's save it. Okay, nothing is changed. And under our Flutter map widget, we need to put our button. So let's create a status widget for our button. I'm going to do it right below the map page. Let's call it location button. Okay. And I'm just going to copy paste our previous buttons code here in the on pressed. So let's first create an elevated button. And in the on pressed. Yeah, okay. I think this is the only part that we need. Okay. Let's paste this here. And for the child, let's use a text widget. Okay. And let's call it location button. Sorry, request location. Request location permission, even better.
Yep.
Okay, of course, this is not going to show because we haven't put it into the widget tree yet. And one more thing, okay, let's change it afterwards. So, on in the stack that our Flutter map is living, let's put it below it, like this, location button. Okay, and let's wrap this inside of a position widget because we want this location button to be on the bottom right of the screen. Okay, so I think from the right side, 30 pixels sounds good, and from the bottom, let's make it 50. Okay, now we have our button. Let's change the colors just a little bit. For this, there's a style option, and I really don't like the API of this style, but let's see. It's called button style. Let's do some copy pasting here for the background color. 1, 2, 3. I think this is the background color from the original documentation. Style, button style, of course. Nothing is changed because we don't want it to be have a specific background color only on the president. We want it to return, let's say, colors that red, just to check it out. Always, okay, just like this. I think black color would be better because we already have a color for it. Perfect, perfect. And when we press this button right now, we can see our location permission dialog as expected. Okay, so the first thing is out of the way. Now let's start working on our marker. But Erkan, isn't it better to only display this button when either of our permission or services is disabled.
Yeah, right now both of them are enabled, and there is no real reason to show that button on the screen. So it's better to disappear this black button,
Okay,
and
perfect.
we can use our permission state to do this. We
All
can
right,
just wrap this position with a block selector that listens to the permission qubit. And from the permission qubit, if you remember, we have a state that is changed when either location permission or location services is enabled.
perfect explanation. Okay, so right now I have access to that state. And the way that we are going to do it, if location permission granted and services enabled is true, then we are not going to show this button. If it is not, then we will show it. So it's very easy. We will just copy paste it here. And if this is true, we are going to return a constant size box dot print. Otherwise, we are going to return our button. So let's see, it should disappear. Just as expected, it disappeared because we already given all the permissions. Okay, so this is finished. And next up, let's look at the marker. And in order to do the marker, we need to find our Flutter map widget. It's here. Under layers, we already have a tile layer option for showing the actual map. And below that, we are going to use another type of layer, which is called marker layer options. And here there are several things. I'm just going to look at the documentation a little bit. And the most important thing is the markers. And it's a array composed of different markers. For now, we are just going to show a single marker showing the user's location. If we want to show more than one marker, of course, we can do that. So let's return a list, and inside of our list, let's return a marker. This marker class comes from the Flutter map package, and we need to give a point, we need to give a width and a height, and a builder to show the widget, whatever widget that we want. We are not, unlike Google Maps, we can show anything that we want, even animated things, which we will show in the next video. So, as for the point, it's going to be a let long. For now, let's use the same let long as our center widget. Then we will take the actual location of the user from our location qubit. But let's go step by step. Okay. And
What is wrong with the marker class? It's still showing.
there is some required field that we haven't done yet. For width and height, I'm just going to choose right now 60. Okay, and lastly, it needs a builder function. And it returns us a context, and it expects a widget. Just to do a quick demonstration, I'm going to return the containers. Of course, we need to return it. And this container will have a color of, let's say, black again, just to keep the same theme. Okay, so right now, our center of the map was London, I think Greenwich, and our marker is already there. So, two things that we are going to change. First thing is, we need to get the actual user's location. Let's start with that. In order to do that, we need to set our lowest widget in the widget tree with a location qubit builder. So block builder. Let's wrap this with a block builder. And as I said, it's the location cubit. Okay, location state. And I want to build this in which condition when users location is changed. Sorry, I think we lost Erkan. Erkan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So when the user's location is changed, we want to rebuild this widget so that the marker gets rebuilt again in a different place on the map. Perfect, but we are still not using user's location inside of our marker. So let's do that. Here is our state object. So instead of using user location is our own. So instead of using these fixed values, we are going to use state dot user location dot latitude, and similarly state dot user location dot longitude. Okay, let's see if the marker changes. Perfect. It shows where I am right now. And as expected, the block builder worked perfectly. Okay, so next thing, this looks horrible. So let's give it a nice icon, a user icon. And in the next video, we'll make it animated. So our app will look more alive. Let's create a new stateless widget called user marker. And let me see the icon widget. I'm looking for the icon that I use. Okay, it's person pin. All right. So we are going to return. Of course, it needs to be centered. Of course, and we need a container with a decoration, with box decoration. Let's give it a color of black, and let's give it a shape of box shape, not circle, because usually markers are circular. And we are going to give it a height and width, but I don't think we need it. Let's see how it looks like right now. Instead of giving our fixed container, let's change it back to user marker, and it's a constant because it doesn't take any variables. Let's see. Okay, perfect. The reason we didn't need to give any width or height to our user marker is because this marker object, which encapsulates our user marker, already gives the width and height. So our user marker parent is this big, so it can at most be this big. And there is no reason to clutter this widget. If in the future we want to change our user's marker size, we can just do it from here, from the marker class, which is much safer. All right, let's make this a const. Next up, we want to put a user icon inside of this. So as a child of this, we are going to give an icon. Yeah, I guess it's just an icon. Okay, it's a positional parameter. So icons dot person pin. So many icons to choose from. All right. And we need to create a color, of course. color start red. Just see if it works. Let's see what happens. Interesting. It's wrapped up here. 1 second. This widget. Okay, nice. That center was causing this container to be as small as possible. Usually, people ask this kind of question is asked too much on Stack Overflow. If you see something like this, it's usually because of the center widget. Don't forget. Okay, red color is not good, of course. Let's make it white. Okay, but it's too small. So let's change the size of our icon to, let's say, 30. Much better. And maybe 40. Okay, 25 is the better. Let's make this a cast. Okay. Right now, we can see our marker wherever the user is. And next up, we are going to add an animation. So this marker that you see on the map will be growing and shrinking constantly, which gives them a nice effect to our whole app. Erkan, do you think we should wrap up this video?
Yeah, I think we just moved, build a marker, connected it to our block, made another button to display the permission dialog. I think that's it for this scope of tutorial.
Okay, perfect. Then see you soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.